Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today we're going to be talking about commodity prices and commodity levels. So if this is interesting to you, stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell notification down below so you're notified when I upload a video. Please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell stock based on anything I talk about in this video. Buy or sell after you did your research, your due diligence, and you like the investment you're pursuing. So we're going to look at commodity prices because I think things are heading into inflection point where things can go a lot higher. That's just my thesis that I'm working on. So you look at crude back in around 2001, it was at about $17-20 per barrel, and it went through about a 6-year boom, and it hit about $119 high. Now, and then it came down in 2009 to $32, and then it went up for another boom at about $114, and then it came down again to about $26, and then now it's at about $61. I just think that crude can go a lot higher. I think it can go to $100, maybe even $125 per barrel. It's hard to say. I know they're working on Tesla vehicles right now and electric vehicles, so it's not a sure thing. But oil's not just used in your vehicles. It's used in plastics. It's used in just a lot of different things that people never think about. They have all these different products that they can make with oil. So something to think about. I don't have any position in any oil company, but I would be considering if things start heading up towards that I would probably position myself with a Suncor call, maybe a month or 2 month call, a little bit out of the money. So something to think about. Now, aluminum is a commodity that I don't own anything. This is aluminum, okay? I was given this because I worked on a aluminum smelter project in Kitimat, BC, and they gave me that. And yeah, so aluminum, this is the warehouse levels, okay? So back in 2014, it was around 5,500,000 tons of aluminum. So they had a glut. There was too much aluminum at that time, but now it's gone down to about uh, thousand tons. So I guess that's 1,000,000 tons, which is really getting low. It hasn't been that low really until uh, about 2008. Could it go lower? Yeah. But then it's the supply and demand, because if there's a lot of demand and they don't have much supply, then the price can really start rising up. So the company that I look at, if I believe that the price of aluminum is going to start skyrocketing, is called Alcoa, and I think they're on the Nasdaq or the NYSE. So I think their ticker's AA, but I'm not sure. This isn't a stock really video. I'm just wanted to bring it up. Alcoa, I think they're trading around $26, $27. But yeah, now aluminum. So you look at that and the fact that it's down at these really low levels, and back here, this is in for tons. So that's about $1.35 per pound, and now it's trading around 90 cents per pound. So I absolutely think that it could start going back up to these same highs, just for the fact that the levels have gone down and the price of everything. You go to your grocery store and you get any types of food, you're paying way more money than you were paying a few years ago. So these things are adding up. So why isn't commodities prices going up? I just think that there's a lot of manipulation in the market, and eventually these prices, like you see in the low back in 2016, and it went a lot higher. I just think that it can go back up. Again, who knows when, but the chart looks as though it's bottoming out around there. So, I mean, if you think that aluminum has a good future, Alcoa is a good stock to look at. There's not really any companies that are just in tin, but Tech Cominco, Tech B, it is a ticker. The amount of the levels right now on the London Metal Exchange warehouse levels is really low. It's never been this low before. So this is in thousands of tons. It's been as high as 35,000 tons, and right now it's not even at 1,000 tons. It's at like 890 tons of tin. That's so low. So 800, 890,000, like 1,000. That's 890 tons. Like that's really low. So the price of it, now if you look at the price, it's only at $10 per pound, or like 890 per pound, but it's been as high as $14 per pound. It could absolutely shoot up to those same levels just for the fact that was around 2011, and they had a lot more at that time. They had about 25 times more in their warehouse now. So why isn't the price way higher? I mean, I just think that's a lot of manipulation, and just for the fact that commodity sector doesn't make a lot of sense to me why it hasn't really skyrocketed yet. Do I think that it should be at uh $25 or $35 a pound? Well, I mean, I think if everything made sense to me, I think that's where it should be. But because there's manipulation and stuff like that goes on, that it hasn't reached those levels. But I think there's a chance that there's a big expansion going on, and there's with this China deal going on, it's already been announced. I mean, it hasn't been announced, but it looks like it's going to go through, and I just think if these miners companies, the big miner producers that are in this, they're gonna make a lot of money when it's finalized, and that'll shoot up the price of the commodities, which will increase the share price in these stocks as long as the company doesn't do any shady BS stuff. So, so yeah, I wish I could find a pure play for tin, but I can't. But Tech Cominco is the only stock, and I mean, hell, that's getting very low for, it's never been that low, and the fact that it's under $10, excuse me, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, it could easily be like 30, 40, $50 a pound. That's like 4 or 5 times more. So I'm invested in a nickel play, share it, and I'm also in an exploration company called GGI Garibaldi, and they're finding some very big percentage grades of nickel and copper in Garibaldi in Stewart, BC. But I mean, it's all speculation because they don't have a mine set up, and they need to get more tonnage. But there's this company called Norilsk, and Norilsk has platinum and palladium, and it's humongous miner in Russia, and absolutely it could have a chance of being as big as that. But and Voisey Bay in Newfoundland, they sold it to Vale for $4.5 billion, and that didn't have as high of grades as Garibaldi, but then they had bigger lengths of core, so they had like 100-meter cores and 200-meter cores, so they were finding a lot. Now at Garibaldi, they found about like a 60-meter core, and at 2 times the uh, the percentage grade. So Boise Bay was doing about 4% nickel and 2% copper, and at Garibaldi they're finding stuff that's like anywhere from 6 to 8% nickel, 3 to 4% copper, and also platinum and gold and palladium. So they're trying to find the nickel, and all over the place, and they're doing the exploration. It's trading for a pretty low price right now, like 74 cents, but who knows where it'll go. But I do own shares in the company at a lot higher price, but we'll see. I don't own a lot, but I just look at this fact that the nickel levels keep going down. Now nickel's going for about $6 a pound in US, and I think it could easily go to like $8 to $10, and that would really. I also own a company called Share International that just got killed because something to do with Cuba stuff, but the price of books so low, and I just think they're getting manipulated. I think as soon as the nickel market starts going up, then and it starts going to like $8 to $10, that company's going to make a lot of money. Is that my stocks will go up a lot. So the miners, they can move up and down a lot really quick, but I just think that the commodity sector, it has to go up sometime. There's just hints of it. There's this company called US Steel, and their price to book is below 1, and they have a PE around like 3, and they make a lot of money, and they're just expanding a $1 billion that they're going to spend on improving this facility, and that's because steel prices. There's got to be a reason that the China deal's going through. That's why they're going to do that. That's what I think. Is that true? Not necessarily, but it just hints at the fact, like, why are they going to spend $1 billion if there's not certainty that they're going to need a lot more steel to produce? So then that's good for them to expand. So with that said, there's why aren't these other commodities going to go up a lot as well, and then need a lot of them in the future, and the levels are keep going down. So I don't know, it's pretty interesting to me if you ask me. So I just like, you just start seeing this. It was at 450,000 tons, and now it's at around 173,000 tons. Now, they also use a lot of nickel in stainless steel, and they use it in Tesla vehicles as well. So then they're going to use them more in the newer vehicles that are coming online. So the demand in the 20th like in 2020 to 2030, there's going to be a lot of demand, I believe, for nickel, and it's not the easiest thing to find. So yeah, I'm bullish on nickel. Uh, we'll see. The company Shared International has a really low price to book. It's like 0.07, and they make the same amount of revenues that their market cap. They make more money, like 2 times the amount of revenues that their market cap is, but they have some debt, and then they also, but think about it, if the price of the nickel goes up like 50% or 2 times what it is right now, then they're going to be able to have all that profit margin, and then they can pay off the debt, and they'll be in demand. That price of the shares will go up a lot if the price of nickel goes up a lot. And I just look at the fact that the nickel levels keep going down. It's just shooting down. There's no stopping it. So who's to say it's going to go down to 50,000 tons or 10,000 tons? And that's absolutely where the inflection point, where the price of the commodity is going to end up going up. So that's what I look at. Now, zinc, I don't have a company in zinc, but I am looking at a few companies. I might do a video on that, but this is like, you just look at that. This is thousand tons of zinc back in 2013, and now they're only at 88 thousand tons, and the price was at $2 in like 2006, 2007, and now it's at about a buck 28. And it hasn't been as low. Like you look at this, it's at about like 5 to 15 times of what it was back in these times in 2013. And in 2013 the price was around $1, and so it's only 30% higher, but there's like 10 to 15 times less amount in the warehouse. So that makes no sense. It should be a lot higher, but they're keeping the base metals down for some reason. So see, they do these contracts on the forex market, so that's why they can keep the price down. But when these big companies need to order a lot, eventually the price will go down. So here's the commodity, my thing, Alcoa AA. That's an aluminum company. So now you look at X, United States Steel. That's the one that went up a lot because they just announced that they're going to spend $1 billion, and the price, they were getting killed for the longest time. So it was about time that it probably will go up this week for sure as well. And Vale Vale had a good day on Friday. And you look at the volume too. It's not just the fact that the price has gone up. If you look at the volume, 43 million shares traded, and this company only has like 150 million shares out. So if you look at that, like amount of people that are buying these commodities, even if there's a lot of shares that are shorted, you just got to think about it, like use your brain. Why are so many people buying and selling this stock? There's got to be a reason. So, and Vale's big into copper and nickel. I believe they also have like some energy as well. So, Freeport McMoRan, they're a big copper player, and you look at the 23.4 million shares were traded. That's tons. And Hudson Bay Minerals, I think they do. They have tin, but and they're kind of all over the place as far as metals go. So that's a good company to look into. And uh, Suncor for oil sands is a good company to look into. This is in US dollars. And Cameco for uranium is the best player to look into for uranium. And uranium also, I think, one of these days is going to start going up. And London Mining, I believe, is a good company as well. And they had a lot of shares were traded. And I think Eximine Mining, they're like a smaller player, and I think they do zinc. And North Isle Copper and Gold, they're in Vancouver Island, and they have a deal with Freeport McMoRan. I own shares in that company, and they're basically trying to expand the property. So maybe Freeport McMoRan is going to buy them out when the price of copper goes up a lot. So this is the company Norilsk that I'm talking about, and they're on the OTC, and they're big nickel and platinum and copper company. And this is Garibaldi. Okay, Trevally, that's the one. They're big in zinc. And the Sprott Resource has 70% ownership in a copper, and the share is their nickel. What was the one? I took it off the list, but that's pretty much what I'm talking about as far as the companies, and why I think that there's going to be a time when it could be very soon, or it could be in a few months, or it could be in a year, but these companies are gonna gonna shoot up a lot, because if you look at the levels, and there's gonna be demand, especially with things moving forward with this China deal, and something to think about. I hope you like this video and you learned a lot. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for future content and information, and leave a comment down below, and let me know what you think. And until next time, peace.